Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our live series Ichi-go Ichi-e, a show where we discuss and present valuable insights about growth, self-improvement, skill development, and awareness. Brought to you by Team Bertho and the Youth Exchange South to South, aka Yes Girls Movement. And I'm your host, as usual, Fahmina Foy. In our pursuit of living life more meaningfully, we venture through a lot of ideas to find our true purpose. And while flowing through the stream of finding meaning in our lives, we more than plenty times come across the term positive psychology. What is actually positive psychology and why is it important in our lives? I'm sure these questions arrived in all of our minds myriad of times as well. So I guess you all have figured out by now that our topic for today's session is positive psychology. And our guest for today's show is Pamela Mondragon, a mental health research professional. She is currently taking her prerequisite courses for the Doctoral Program in Clinical Psychology. Her Instagram account, Create Your Wellbeing, encourages people to prioritize their well-being using tools from positive psychology, the science of happiness and mindful productivity. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest. Hello, Pamela.
Hello, Pamela. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
We're really glad to be here with you as well. So, Pamela, I'm not going to, stretch this part any longer. So I'm handing the reins on to you, and you carry out the session the way you please.
Okay, thank you so much. So actually, I prepared some slides for today to follow along. So could you please share the slides? I think there is someone behind the scenes who can share the slides.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't actually catch what were you. Oh, okay, you're going for the
Slides.
slideshow. Okay.
Yes. Could we put them in presenter mode? Present. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with the session. So today's topic is boost your well-being with positive psychology. And could we please move to the next slide? Okay. Okay. I think I will share my slides here. I think it will be easier. Oh, it's fine. Okay, now it's it. Okay, so sorry for the delay in technology. But okay, so today we're going to talk about positive psychology, and I will start with an introduction to the subject. So positive psychology is the scientific study of what makes life worth living, which means that it focuses on what is going well, what is working. That includes our strengths and other elements that allows us to thrive and to function optimally. Could we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so to understand positive psychology, it could be useful to make a comparison with traditional psychology. And it's important to note that both traditional psychology and positive psychology complement each other, so they work together. While traditional psychology focuses on treating mental disorders and repairing what is not working, what is wrong, and to reduce suffering and reduce pain, positive psychology focuses on what can we boost to what can we give more what can we do to improve our well-being intentionally, and what can we build on to feel better, and how can we develop these internal resources. So traditional psychology allows us to go from -10 to 0, while positive psychology allows us to go from 0 to +10. And positive psychology is built on the premise that not having a mental health disorder does not mean that we are living optimally, that we are living, that we're flourishing, so that we're having a life of well-being and purpose. So can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you so much. So here, today I wanted to share with you the PERMA-V model of well-being, which is a model that is well known in positive psychology. It's based on research and it includes 6 elements that contribute to our well-being. So the first one is positive emotions. And here it's important to know that, when we ask someone, how are you doing? Most of the time we say, oh, I'm doing well. And we do not take the time to explore all this variety of positive emotions. And positive emotions are our internal resources to solve problems, to be more creative, and to broaden our perspective. Then we have engagement, which refers to be completely immersed in the present moment. And it also includes the state of flow, which I will talk more about in the next slides. And we also have relationships, which are the most important factor for our well-being. We have accomplishment, which refers to having goals and working to achieve them. Meaning refers to having a sense of purpose and feeling that we are connected to something larger than ourselves. And finally, vitality, which includes our healthy habits, which contribute to have energy and to take care of ourselves. So we're going to start with positive emotions in the next slide. So here you can find a list of the 10 main positive emotions. So we have joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, awe, and love. So as you can see, we have a lot of positive emotions that we can intentionally, we can look for activities that bring us these emotions. And it's important to be intentional, like I said, in looking for ways to live these emotions, because as human beings, we have a negativity bias, which is linked to our survival as a species, and which means that we tend to focus on the negative things. For example, if we give a presentation at work and we have a lot of positive feedback, but we have 1 or 2 critics, we may concentrate more on those critics than give importance to the positive feedback. And this is why we need to be intentional in planning these activities that bring us these emotions. So we can go to the next slide. And the second element of the PERMA-V is engagement, which means being immersed in the present moment. And there are 3 conditions to achieve the flow state. So the first one is deep focus. So this means that if we want to be completely present in an activity, it's important to leave distractions aside. So for example, leave our cell phone aside or leave other distractions. Maybe look for a calm place, apply a quiet place to work, and leave try to have a clean desk and leave other, like I said, distractions aside. Then clear goal means having a specific goal so that we know when we reach it. And the third element is a balance between challenge and ability, which means that it's important to engage in activities that are moderately challenging for us and that we feel that we have the ability to accomplish them. So if an activity is too hard for us, we do not feel that we can develop the resources, we can look for resources or develop the ability to accomplish it, it will be harder to get into this flow state, this engaged state. So we can go to the next slide. And the third element, relationships. And here it's important to develop authentic relationships. So the quality of the relationships, it's what counts. And be with people where being in relationships where we feel that we can be authentic, we can show our real self, we can live in accordance with our values, we can share our preferences, our dreams, and also having people that we can trust and who support us, especially during harder times. And studies show that, yes, this is the most important element for well-being. The next slide. And fourth element is meaning. So here, everyone has a different definition of meaning. But studies show that four elements that can bring meaning to our lives can be work, spirituality, friendships, and it could also be volunteering. So I invite you to reflect about what brings meaning to your life and to dedicate more time to it in your daily life. Then the next element is accomplishment, and it includes having clear goals. So here you can use SMART goals, for example. And what's important here is not to achieve our goals, but to have goals, because goals give us a direction to know where to go, which next steps to take. And that's what's important, because sometimes we can change our mind, and it's okay. Maybe we can aim for a career to achieve a certain career goal, and then we change our mind. But what's important is that we have these goals, we're working towards achieve them, and we feel that we are creating our life. We're taking we're the architect of our lives finally. And it's important to know our values, to consider them when we make decisions, and having working to reach our goals give us satisfaction and contributes to develop of our full potential. And the next element is vitality. So this includes taking care of our physical health, which is also connected to our mental health. So nutrition, taking care of our sleep. And here I wrote exercise, but I think it could be changed to physical activity, because sometimes we exercise, for some people it can be hard to start right away, but it's important to move. That's what counts. So just look for a way that you like to move. It could be dancing, it could be taking a walk in the park. So just finding ways to increase your vitality naturally. And here I have a little exercise for you. So from the PERMA V models, I invite you to choose an area that you want to prioritize in your life, and to think about 3 specific actions that you want to improve in this area. And if you want to share them in the chat, it's okay. Like, I like to know. And or you can just write them on a journal. But it's important to do this because this is an opportunity to think about what's important for you, for your well-being. So we can go to the next slide. Character strengths. So this is a topic that is very important also for our well-being, and that is connected to the 6 elements of the PERMA V model. So we can go to the next slide. So character strengths are our internal resources, and studies show that they contribute to our personal achievement, to our development socially, professionally. And also, when we use our strengths, this increases our well-being and the well-being of others. And furthermore, to manage stress. And here I want to talk about the VIA, Values in Action Inventory of Strengths. So this is an inventory of 24 character strengths that also is based on research. And these strengths were included because they are universal, so they are recognized by people from different cultures and religions. and we can recognize them in facial expressions, and we can like studies show that these are the 24 main strengths. So the second point is that they are present in every individual at different levels. So everyone has a unique combination of these strengths. And it's important to know that we have 5 that are our main strengths. But we can also, when you do the test, actually, I will share the link in the next slide. You will see the list of the 24 strengths, and you can also intentionally look for ways to increase the other strengths if you need to do that. So we can go, yes. So here you have the link at the top of the page. It's a free test. It takes approximately 15 minutes. So I encourage you to do it. I think it's important. It can contribute to your well-being and to your self-knowledge. And here you can see the variety of strengths that we have in this classification. And also in the website, you can find more information about each strength and ways to develop each of these strengths. And in the next slide, I included 3 ways to develop our strengths. And as I said before, we tend to focus on what is not working, what we did wrong. So instead of doing that, we can take a self-compassionate approach and also focus on what is working, what can we do to improve. And this is where strengths are important. So 3 ways to develop our strengths are first knowing the strengths. So you can either identify your strengths from the list or do the test if you need some help to identify them. And the second step is strength spotting, which means that we can it's easier to do it by journaling. So we can identify moments of our day where we feel happy, where we feel that we are contributing to a cause, where we feel satisfied, and reflect about which strengths we are using in those moments. And finally, to be creative and look for new ways to use our strengths. So we can plan an activity that allows us to use the strengths in new ways. And to plan the activity, it's important to be specific. So think about when we will do this activity, where, and with who. So next slide. And this is an exercise that I wanted to share with you. So I invite you to share, choose your 3 top strengths from the list. And if you want to share them, you're welcome to do it and in the chat. And also think about how you could use your strengths to face a current challenge. So for example, in my case, my strengths are gratitude, love of learning, and perseverance. And I think that perseverance can help me to face challenges currently, because I know that it has helped me in the past, and this increases my confidence to achieve the new goals that I set for myself. So yes, I invite you to write a statement about that. So thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please feel free to share them. Femina, I think you're in mute. I don't hear you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pamela. That was a very informative and insightful session that you just rendered. And I'm sure that everyone who had come across this term and learned a lot from you today from this session. So we're just going to jump to the question answer section now. Let's if we have any questions, or actually I have one for you. I'm sure that this may tick you off, and a lot of people I probably asked you this question before. How do we separate toxic positivity to positive psychology? Is there any notion that we can get into from, I mean, deciphering them differently?
Yes, I think it's important to know that there is positive psychology, but there is also positive thinking and, well, toxic positivity, right? And positive psychology is based on science, so that's the difference with positive thinking alone. And also, toxic positivity is about validation of emotions. So it's actually not validating emotions of others. And I think it comes down to how other people feel when they talk. For example, sometimes we have the best intentions to help people, and we can say, yes, it's going to be well, don't worry, um, don't be sad, things will be better. And sometimes we do it with the best intention, but I think it's important to think about how the other person feels, and also think about permission to feel. Like, we are humans, it's normal to have all these emotions. So look for ways to replace these statements with more validating statements, such as, um, well, such as, I know this can be hard for you. Like, I cannot, maybe I cannot imagine what you feel in this moment. I think it can be hard for you. I'm here to support you. Or other things such as, oh yes, this sucks. Like, it's very disappointing, and I get why you feel frustrated, right? So it's important to open ourselves to this variety of emotions, and to be show others that we are supportive. And it's to find this balance between being optimistic but also permission to feel all these emotions.
Thank you very much. That was very helpful. And now we are here from our with our first question from the viewers, and that is, what lie has convinced you enough to live it like a truth?
Okay,
Wow.
so my life has consumed to live it like a truth. So do you mean like, I don't quite understand this question. I just want to be sure I understand it well. So are you talking about a statement that I repeated to myself that I thought it became true? It's,
I guess it's kind of like when something is not true circumstantially, but somehow we just put on these little pieces around us, and we started believing that it's a it's the truth. I think it's something like that. It's like when you have a okay, I'm gonna use a pretty tacky example, that it's like when you have a crush on someone and you don't know if they like you back, but you pick up these little pieces and you start believing that they like you back as well. I think it's something like that. I guess so. Or you can answer it the way you please. The way
oh,
you see the question, you can answer it the way you please.
okay. I think for me, it comes back to self-talk. So sometimes I'm like, maybe if something is not working, did not work out well, um, that could bring me thoughts such as, oh no, this is hard, like I'm not able to do it, and this, maybe I should try something else, maybe this is not for me. And I think in those moments, if I continue with those thoughts, our thoughts and emotions are connected. So I get in this spiral of, like, this not empowering thoughts, and just taking actions that are getting me further to my goals. So yes, I think our mind is very powerful. So if we face disappointments, it's important to recognize our suffering. It's okay to give us a moment to feel all these difficult emotions, but then maybe journal, maybe process your emotions, talking to someone, doing different activities that make you feel better, but also then move on. And like we talk about today. So focus on your strengths, focus on looking for help, and ways to slowly build up your confidence again and your ability to try again. I don't know if it answers the question, but I think it comes back to self-talk. I think the lies in our heads, at least for me, it's self-talk, and I think it's a lot of us. So, what should we do when we feel low without any reason? Because it happened with me many times. So, I think it's in these moments. I don't know if you have heard about the term languishing. So, it's a term that we heard lately, I think in the past months. So, that means that we are not. It's not depression. We're not depressed, but we're not living fully, and we feel that we are going through the motions and just feeling low. And I think in these moments, it's important to just take a time to step back, don't put much pressure on ourselves, and allows us to feel, to explore our feelings. So you can do this by journaling, you can talk to someone you trust, and just allow yourself to release all thoughts or emotions. And then slowly look for ways that the things that bring you joy, things that bring you meaning, like we talk about in the session. So think about what maybe meaning, maybe in your work there is something, maybe volunteering, helping others, maybe your spirituality. So try to connect to these things that bring you meaning. And if you don't know what's your passion, what brings you meaning, it's okay. Just try different things. It's important to be open and just have the intention to try different things. Maybe you can do it with a friend if that helps you. And like this, slowly you can go back to feeling better.
I guess Lamia and Mushidul, your questions have been answered. So we're going to jump to the next question now. Mubashira Eshika asked, how can you start thinking positively when you are in an absolute negative environment?
Okay, I think yes, that's hard because it's what surrounds us, our physical environment or social environment influences how we think, how we feel. But also, we know that from CBT, from cognitive behavioral therapy, we know that emotions, thoughts, and behaviors are connected. So if it's hard for us to think positively, we can do things. We can use our behaviors to change how we feel, which can change how we think. So maybe try for ways. Maybe try for relation. Try to look for people who are supportive. It can even be online. There are some. This includes Instagram pages. Try to follow Instagram pages that inspire you. Try to look for groups, maybe in Facebook groups where people are more positive, more optimistic, and also try to engage in behaviors that bring you wellness. So, for example, physical exercise. We know that it's important for physical well-being, mental well-being, to have more creativity, to have these positive emotions. Um, so that, and also maybe journal about things that bring you joy. Also, maybe try to try to surround yourself maybe with shows. Maybe it can even be TV shows that are inspiring, YouTube videos that are inspiring. Just try to surround yourself with as much positivity as you can, and I think that can help.
I guess that really helps you, Mubashira Ishika. And our next question is, how can you continue being positive when you're not being appreciated by for your effort?
Okay, for this, I think that yes, it can be easy to give more importance to others' opinions, to look for this feedback. It's gratifying to receive feedback from others, but it's not always possible. We cannot control how others respond to our actions, but we can focus on what we're doing well, what is working for us, the moments that make us proud. So I think it's important to consider that also that sometimes people do not. Um, I think it comes back to expectations. We maybe we tend to give feedback to others, positive feedback, to appreciate, to encourage others, but not everyone is like that. Maybe it depends on their life experience, how they grew up, their environment. So just focus on yourself and focus on being proud of what you're accomplishing, and know that it's if they do not congratulate you for something, they do not appreciate your effort, that depends on them. You can focus on what is working for you and keep doing what makes you proud, what brings you this sense of accomplishment.
Thank you very much. Anum Chaudhary actually said a very lovely comment that more power to Team Bertho for prevailing and uncovering beautiful people after social changes. That is very sweet of you, Anum. Uh, and now we're going to go to our next question by Sadia Anjum, and it's going to be, how can we avoid our society's toxic people, different negative comments about us?
Okay, so here again, I think, well, it comes to how people react to how people react towards us. And I think it's important to build our self-confidence and our self-talk. So I know it's hard to be surrounded by toxic people, but like I said before, we can look for ways to be, at least digitally, to be surrounded by positive influences, and also focus on your self-talk. Like, don't let that distort your self-talk. Try to talk to yourself with empowering statements. So even if you receive negative comments, you can do this by journaling, or maybe by talking to others, to people you trust about this. So focus on what is working well and just savoring these moments. So um, take the time to reflect. Okay, I accomplished today, this happened, this was so hard for me, but I succeeded at this. Wow, I feel proud of myself. And take the time to savor these moments, to really give them importance, to maybe visualize them, close your eyes, and just try to give, in this way you give more importance to these moments, and to your you can build your confidence rather than dwell on these negative comments. Oh, I think you're on mute again. Just a minute.
That is very insightful. Thank you very much, and I hope that helps Sadia to her course. So we're gonna take last two questions. This is our second last questions by Arshi Afsana, and she asked you, "What is your biggest encouragement?"
Okay, my biggest encouragement, I think, at the moment, is knowing that, and this has started since the pandemic. Well, this I gave more importance to reflecting about my values, and so it's detaching myself from the outcome, but knowing that if I'm giving my best, if I'm moving in accordance with my values, if I'm doing what gives meaning to my life, that's what counts. That's what counts, no matter the outcome. And I think this frees me from comparing to others or disappointment. Right? Yes, maybe I will feel disappointed if I don't reach my goals, but I know that I'm giving my best, and I know that I'm living in alignment with my values, and that's what's important.
Wow, that's very beautiful. And our last question for today is, how do you make each day matter? Wow, that is very beautiful, and would love to know what you have to say about this, Pamela.
For this, I think that I intentionally try to include things that bring me joy and little pleasures. I do not have to spend a lot on this. It can be just prepare myself a cup of tea, maybe wake up earlier to see the sunrise, go to the park after work, just take a nice walk and try to disconnect myself from my cell phone. So just do small things I try to do small things every day that bring me joy and peace.
That's very beautiful. Thank you very much. So this wraps for the third section for our today's session, and thank you very much for being here again. And how did you like today's session? I mean, I'm sure everyone who watched, I myself loved listening to you, loved what you had to share. But how did you personally? How did this session impact you personally? I just wanted to know.
So I love this opportunity. I think that well, I tend to share about these topics on my Instagram account or maybe study them or read about them, but I don't do workshops or webinars often. So I really like this chance to share my knowledge with you, with others, and just I cannot see all of you, but just know that I'm being surrounded by people who want to prioritize their well-being, who want to live better, live with purpose. That makes me feel very, very good, very satisfied, and that gives meaning to my life. So, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. And how did you? Thank you very much. That was very beautiful. That was very sweet of you to listen what you had to say. And how did you like working with Team Bertho?
Oh yes, I loved it. I think it was very well organized, and yes, I send you, for the slides and my information. We coordinated well by email, by Facebook Messenger, so I think it's very organized. And I know that you have a mission to share this, to share different perspectives of people to live with purpose, live with more intention. So I'm happy to collaborate with you, and I thank you for what you're doing too to
Uh,
help to reach as many people as possible to live a better life.
thank you very much. And Yes, Girls Movement, another of our collaborators for Ichi-go Ichi-e, actually thanked you. They said, "Thank you so much for this beautiful session. The topic itself is very important and to practice as well." Thank you, Yes Girls Movement, for interacting in our sessions. You guys have always been there since the beginning to each and every session of Ichi-go Ichi-e. And Pamela, thanks again for being here and sharing your notes with us. And we feel, and automatically listening to you, we feel a little bit better. We found a little bit of hope, everything that you had to say, and it alleviated our confidence and insights about our lives. So thank you very much for being here. And to all of you who have been watching for the past 40 minutes, thank you. And thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of Ichi-go Ichi from beginning to last. And I will hope to see you in the next session. So thank you very much. Bye bye. Good night, Pamela. I mean, it's night in our Bangladesh. So goodbye, and we'll hope to see connected, and we'll hope to be connected with you and furthermore.
Thank you so much. And yes, I hope we will collaborate again together. So thank
Yeah,
you so
we would
much.
love that. We would love that as well.
Thank you. Have a great night or a great day wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.